Good morning and welcome to Unity Spiritual Center, Saxe, this November 22nd, 2020. Let's take a deep breath together and prepare ourselves for our time together. Breathe in, hold it at the top, exhale. Keep breathing in slowly, steadily, filling up the lungs completely, exhaling completely. Centering on your breath, become aware of your body. Relax any tension you might be carrying. Just keep breathing deeply. Clear your mind. Unpacking any stress, anything you're attached to for the rest of the day, the upcoming holiday, the previous week. Just let it all go. And allow yourself to drop down into your heart space. That place where our awareness of the divine is heightened. Where our awareness of ourselves as divine beings is heightened. And just letting whatever is on our mind just pass through. Just let it pass through. Like a stream over rocks. Let the thoughts come in and slowly pass by. Without attachment, being aware of any emotion. And as you continue to breathe, fill your heart with love, love for this community, love for all beings, affirming, recognizing our oneness with the Creator. Feeling your infinite power, goodness, love, harmony, and peace. And as we stay centered in this feeling, in this beingness of oneness, we sing together our centering song, Spirit's Prayer.
Loving Spirit dwells in me. This is my divinity. As within, so without. All I need is here and now. Where there's air, let me love. May I have no fear. All the power, all the glory, I surrender, let it be. Loving Spirit dwells in me, now and evermore. Loving Spirit dwells in me. This is my
And now, in that spirit of love and oneness, we offer our children's blessing to children all over the world. Together, children of light, we see you guided and directed by an inward spirit that leads you into the path that is right for you. We see you strong and whole. We see you blessed and prospered. We see you courageous and confident. We see you as the spiritually perfect beings you truly are. Children of light, we bless you. And our inspiration moment is from 365 Science of Mind, joy. We cannot conceive of the spirit as being sad or depressed. There is ever a song at the center of everything. The song is reflected in all nature, turning mourning into dancing. To put off sackcloth means the turning of the personality to a complete reliance upon the divine. To be girded with gladness means to cover ourselves with the threefold nature of good. This is a symbol of divine perfection. Turning the mind to God and recognizing the omnipresence of love causes us to rejoice as we recognize that in pure spirit we live, move, and have our being. Today I deliberately turn from everything that depresses and sing a song of praise, of gratitude, and of joy. I am going forth to meet joy, singing the song of triumph of spirit over all apparent negation. You've turned my mourning into dancing. You've taken off my sackcloth and clothed me in joy, so that my soul may praise you and not be silent. That's from Psalms 30, 11 to 12. Let's recite together 3 times our affirmation for today. I release all negativity and step fully into joy. I release all negativity and step fully into joy. I release all negativity and step fully into joy.
Feet may fail, and there I find you in the mystery, in oceans deep, my faith will stand, and I will call upon your name, and keep my eyes above the waves. When oceans rise, my soul will rest in your Let me walk upon the waters wherever you would call me. Take me deeper than my feet could ever wander. Let me walk upon the water in the presence of the sacred. Spirit, lead me where my trust is without borders. Let me walk upon the waters wherever you would call me. Take me deeper than my feet could ever wander, and my faith will be made stronger in the presence of the sacred. And I will call upon your name. Keep my eyes above the waves. When oceans rise, my soul will rest in your embrace. For I am yours, and you are mine.
Still one of my favorite songs. Yeah, it just takes my breath away. So I was watching one of my medical TV shows this week, and there were 2 surgeries that they were showing. And in one, there were 3 surgeons working, and there was the gallery up top, and there was another surgeon up top who kept talking to the surgeons who were actually working and giving her opinions about what should happen and what they should do differently because things were not working out as they originally planned. And at some point, the head surgeon in the room just asked her to be quiet. And they turned off the speakers so they couldn't hear her even if she kept talking because they needed to focus. And once they were able to focus and know and return to what they knew had to be done, things went more smoothly, and they were able to think, and they were able to bring in all the knowledge that they had. They were able to think about shifting here or there, whatever needed to be done in the moment without distraction. In the second surgery, and again, a number of surgeons were working together, and the patient started to code. And by this time, you have the anesthesiologist and other people who are assisting in the surgery are reading off things that are happening on monitors and telling them. And the surgeon just said, everybody just be quiet, so I can focus on what I need to do. Obviously he realizes that the patient is coding, but with all the information coming in from everywhere else, he couldn't focus on what needed to be done, and he needed the quiet in order to work. He needed the quiet, he needed the focus, the laser focus on what he was doing in that moment and working with his hands in order to proceed, and he was able to save the patient's life. But in both instances, they needed to block out what was there, what was all around them, and singularly focus on one thing. Singularly focus. In the human body, I learned a long time ago when I was in an exercise class with somebody, and he had us practicing standing on one foot. And most of us are used to putting out our arms to balance. And what he told us was it's so much easier to balance when your eyes are focused on one thing. Look at a spot on the wall and stare at it. And then your body balances so much more easily. What happens in the body is that the inner ear is reading what's going on in your body. It's taking account of your head position. If you're looking down, it's harder for your body to balance. So if you lift up your head and your shoulders are back and you focus on one thing ahead of you, because the second thing that your inner ear is taking account of is, what are you looking at? If your eyes are all over the room, you can't balance. You're doing this. And the third thing your inner ear is reading is, where are your limbs? What is your body doing? What are your hands and legs doing? Where are they positioned? What's moving? What's not moving? So between your head, it's interesting, this tiny little inner ear is reading all of this going on in your body. What are you looking at? What's your head doing? And where are your limbs? Where's everything going? And so there's this mechanism in the body that allows you to find your space, that one space where you need to be, and everything lines up, ticks up, and you balance with ease and grace. And it doesn't matter what else is going on, because you're now focused on one thing. Your body is focused on one position, and it's easier for it to keep you balanced and steady when there's a singular focus. A singular focus. I was part of a discussion on Friday. There's a group that is having, every Friday night, it's called Meaningful Conversations. And they pick a topic, and you're able to share with other people. So I decided I'd try it. I wanted to see what went on, what kind of people were showing up, and what the discussion was, how did they moderate it. And it's unusual for me to want to do something on a Friday night, because usually I'm ready to just get on the couch, watch a movie, be relaxed, spend time with my husband. I certainly don't want to be on the computer again, participating in something, because then it starts to feel a little bit like work, because I'm sitting at my desk. But I took a chance on this. Sometimes something will tell you that something's important for you to do, even if you don't know why. But I kept feeling this urgency to go. And we ended up having a discussion, and the group that's having these meaningful conversations, they are from the Baha'i faith. And in the Baha'i faith, oneness is one of their core principles. And one of the things we discussed is, what is your spiritual environment? What kind of a spiritual environment do you have? And when people come into your space, come around you, walk in a room with you, what kind of vibe do they get from you? What is your spiritual environment? I never thought about that as my spirituality and who I am and what I do and how I project myself as being an environment. But it certainly is that people walk into that environment. They're affected by that all the time. We talk about energy, and having energy that emanates from the body out around you. But to think about an environment that you create, that people come into. And it talked about us being individual beings, that we are singular, that we are one, but that all of us are one family, one life. I often say in our opening meditation before we start service that we are one breath, one life, one people, one love. We are one. We are one. And so in the Baha'i faith, they talk about being singularly focused on the divine within yourself and in all of us as one breath, one life, one family, one energy, one love. And how you show up in the world, the environment that you create, how does that affect you and everyone else that comes within your purview? We've all been in situations where we've walked into a room and you're immediately affected by somebody there and they haven't talked yet. They could be on the opposite side of the room and you can feel something when you walk in the door. And you know you just don't like it, but you don't know what it is. You may not know who it is, but you know that the energy's not good. We've all been there. That's a spiritual environment. I never thought about that. I love that phrasing, that we create an environment so if we're emanating oneness, if we're trying to find a balance in our spiritual lives, which, if it's truly, I think, a spiritual paradigm for your life, then it emanates in every area of your life. And we've talked about this before and talked about balance. And again, your focus in life determines how all those things balance, or your lack of focus. So if you don't have, like we talked about 2 weeks ago, a core belief that you focus on, everything can be all over the place. Work life, relationships, home life, finances, your health, everything can be all over the place. Everything. And it feels like you can't get a grip on anything. Everything feels out of control. My life felt so out of control until I wrapped it all up into one thing, my spirituality, my view of myself and the world as being just goodness, a singular goodness. And that all those compartments in my life, if you have compartments, we've talked about compartments before, are actually one thing unless we decide to segment them. Because as I've talked about before, there are times when I thought, yes, these other things belong in my spiritual life, but not my finances. I can't trust God with that. Yeah. I didn't realize how silly that was at the time. But I didn't know because I didn't trust. I didn't go there. That's where that song has so much meaning to me, about the trusting without borders and bringing all things into the one again. So this thing about oneness can also have compartments. There's the oneness, the one that we are. We are singular beings, individual, unique expressions of the God, but still we are all one in that spirit that is God. So we really aren't separated. It just appears like we are because we're individual bodies. That's the appearances of things. There's really only one thing, if you want to call it a thing. Thing doesn't even approach being a descriptor of the oneness. I remember hearing a minister say the isness of the allness, of the beingness, of lifeness. That is the thingness that we are-ness. But it's kind of a mental conundrum to think about oneness. And I think most of the conflict comes because we can't conceive that there are certain things or beings or people or personalities that could possibly be one with us. How could I be one with them? They're so contrary to everything I believe, how I live, where I come from, what I think, what I love, so we think. Judgment. Judgment separates us, or separates our perception of us, because we can never really be separated. It's like gravity. You can say you don't believe in gravity all you want, but gravity's still there. Apparently, there's still some people who think the world is flat, who are wondering if that's, if it's not true. And of course, it's hard to wrap your head around. There are times when I'm out in my backyard doing my meditation, when I'm laying on the ground staring at the sky, and I try to wrap my head around that we're on this planet that is round and it's spinning around another body, heavenly body. And we're in constant motion. And here I am laying here and it feels still. It's a mental conundrum. How do you wrap your head around that? And it's just like trying to wrap your head around oneness. And so I think at some point, maybe you don't think about it. You trust it, you embrace it, you step into it. You let your heart wrap itself around this thing about oneness. And when you can become singularly focused on something, then everything starts to balance. Everything starts to balance. Things seem to have a little bit more grace. I did a little bit of reading about balance and focus, and I found something. It's actually 8 ways to improve your balance and stability for dance. You see how sometimes dancers, they almost float on the air, it seems, because of their balance. So these 8 ways, give yourself a solid base. What is your foundation? As we talked about 2 weeks ago. What is your core belief about God and the world? Is there a God? And what is that God? Is it energy? Is it a being? Is it male? Is it female? What are your beliefs about that? Strengthen your core. These are these muscles here that all work together to keep the body and all of the, these extremities moving and balanced and going in the direction you want it to go and being able to hold you in place, enabling you to sit up, stand up, walk forward, catch yourself if it feels like you're going to trip over something. Right you again when you get wobbly or something happens, gets in your way, pushes you over, knocks you out of place. Practice. It says practice without a mirror. Practice your balance. Practice righting yourself again. Going back to the one, the singular focus. When all of a sudden you're feeling scattered during your day, return yourself to your core belief, to the one thing that you know is true about life. And come back and balance, and all this other stuff will start to fall away or fall into line, or it becomes, you stop worrying about it because you're singularly focused on something. Test your limits. Test your limits. It's all theory until you try it, until you balance yourself. And one of the things I love about Unity is that it invites you to test principle. Try it and see if it works for you. And what doesn't work for you, you discard. And keep what works and use that as your singular focus and move from there. But find what works. And if you decide tomorrow that that thing you decided on today doesn't work anymore, go to plan B. If 3 days later, plan B doesn't work anymore and you say, oh, I don't like that, that paradigm doesn't work for me, I'm going with plan C now. I'm going to focus on that and move through life with that to help me. Test your limits. Find that focal point. Look at something. I always wondered how dancers can spin. And what they do is they return their vision to one spot. They go here and here and here. And they return to that one spot all the time. They always know where they are in space. Gymnasts do the same thing. You see them hurdle across the floor, flipping over. And sometimes I can't sit and watch them because I'm already dizzy and I'm just sitting and watching. And here they are flipping through space, but they know exactly where they are because of the practice and because of the focus, because they've got something that they've focused on, and they practice with their eyes closed, so it doesn't matter where they are in space, their bodies know where they are. Their inner ear is practiced. Their inner ear knows, even though that they are tumbling through the air and over the floor at high speed, their brain has been trained to know where they are and what to do. How to react in a millisecond. But they trained their brain. They tested their limits. Ditch the barre, the bar. Dancers practice on the bar until they're able to move away from it. Some of us always have the hypothetical bar, and we cling to it throughout our lives. You're able to expand when you move away from the bar, and you test your balance. You test being able to move through the world without something to hold on to. When it's just you. Like the surgeon who said, "Be quiet, let me do my work." I know you think you want to help. I don't need help. I've got what I need. I've practiced. I've stepped away from the bar. I know what to do in a situation. I'm going to do what I need to do. Step away from whatever your crutch you're holding on to. It. Is it your partner, your spouse, a parent, a child? Sometimes parents all of a sudden don't know what to do when their children go away. They go to college or they move out and they start their own lives, and they've lost their way because they don't know who they are anymore without the children. Sometimes marriages break up because they don't know who they are without being parents. They don't know who they are as a couple anymore. They've lost focus on that. The extremities of their lives, their children, are now gone. So what do we stand on if I'm not a parent? What do you stand on? What do you focus on? Where do you focus yourself singularly? And tell yourself you can do it. Tell yourself you can do it. If you're still getting negative messages that I can't do this, I can't balance by myself, I can't step away from the crutch, from the bar. You keep telling yourself you can't do that. The body follows the mind. The mind will follow the body. And when they're in sync, it's a beautiful thing because they do things that you normally could not do one without the other. Tell yourself, I am in perfect balance. Everything always comes to me when I need it. I remember everything when I need to know it. I remember the day I stopped saying out loud, "Oh, I forgot that," or because of my age, "Oh, I'm just going to naturally forget things." Because a lot of people my age are saying that. "Oh, we just have senior moments. Yes, you're going to forget stuff." I decided I don't want to say that anymore. Because as long as I say, as I get older, I'm going to forget everything, then I will. I didn't want that experience, so I became singularly focused on having a good memory. And so I started saying, I remember everything exactly when I need to have it. And so at times, When I do forget something or it escapes me for a moment, then I stop and I get focused. I get singularly focused. What did I come here for? And I say it out loud. And instantly it comes back. Because no doubt, when I decided I was going to go in the other room to do something, I'm now thinking of 20 other things as I'm going in the other room. The instant I stood up to go in the other room, I'm thinking about everything else. And so how could I have that one thought still? Because I just pushed it out with 20 other thoughts. And as soon as I stop and I say, what did I come for? And I focus and I get clear, I get singular, the thought comes back. Oh, that's what it was. And I used to think, is it my brain? No, it's because I decided that 21 other things I can now think about as I'm traveling to do the one thing that was important at the moment. Our lives are so much like that. We get scattered. We listen to other things, other people, other opinions, other influencers. That's a big word. I've been learning stuff about social media lately and training myself in social media. And the word influencer is everywhere. They're influencers, people where that's what they do is talk about what they think all the time. And they've got tens of thousands, if not millions of people waiting to hear what they think on what you should wear, eat, decorate your house, how you should treat your spouse, how you should be a partner, what you should eat, well, everything. What's in, what's out. I love fashion. I get a fashion blog, and I probably get 4 or 5 a week. What's in now? What am I looking at on Amazon? What am I buying at this place? What are the 40 best tops to get for the fall? Every day there's something else. Okay, so the shoes I bought 2 years ago, oh, can't wear those now because those are out. Go get the other shoes. What the it girls in California are now wearing. It's all over the place. So she get rid of this and bring in these shoes because, oh, we're not doing round toes this spring. We're not doing that. Go empty out your closets. And everybody, so I like it because I love watching it. And I think, oh, I like how that's put together. I think I might try that. Oh, I like that color combination or something like that. So I love stuff like that, but most of it I just discard, but I enjoy looking at it. I enjoy fashion. I love to see how other people dress and what they combine, and I think, huh, that's interesting. Or I might never wear that, but hey, she's rocking it. But most of the information I get, and we get billions and billions of bits of information every single day. And we have to be singularly focused, because if not, then our whole life is all over the place. My word in the last 2 weeks has been cattywampus. Yeah, your life can be cattywampus. If you listen to all the influencers and all the people that are out there, all the things that want to tell you how to do, how to be, what to wear, how to show up, what to drive, who to be with, how to be with them. Then no wonder so many people are feeling crazy these days. And it may be getting worse because we're sheltering in place and we're going more to technology or TV or other things to entertain ourselves. All of this stuff is coming at us and people are all over the place. They don't know what to do. There's so many people on social media who are saying, I just want to get the heck out of 2020. As if when we go from 2020 to 2021, everything's going to be okay. That just the turning of the page or the tick of the clock into 12:01 a.m. on January 1 is going to make it all better. And I keep thinking we better prepare ourselves, because what if it's the same all of next year? Man, you better get focused on something now. If you're not singularly focused on something that helps you to thrive in your life, you might be in deep you know what for a long time. Because this might be the life we have. We might be mask-wearing, distancing folks for a very long time. The infection rates are still growing. What makes us think that just when the year ticks into 2021 that it's going to be different? What makes a difference is whether we are different. And you could have your best year ever in 2021 in the midst of a pandemic because you decided, you got singularly focused on what needs to happen. You got straight, you got focused on what's going to happen. I want this to happen. And every single time you decide something for your life, you go back to that one thing. I want to be healthy in 2021. So every single decision that you make in 2021 is about being healthy. I want to work on my finances. So every decision that I make in 2021 is about having a healthy financial life and having prosperity flooding in all of my beingness. And every time I make a decision, I go back to the one, go back to the one, go back to the one. Singular, 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 right here, right here. And nothing throws you off. Something comes up, you say, nope, go in here. Nope, got my financial plan. Nope, got my financial plan. Nope, I'm healthy, can't do that. Gonna make another choice. Singularly focused, and it allows you to balance. All those other things start to come in. And what happens with the brain, the consciousness, when you get singularly focused, the universe responds to focus. People talk about and teach about manifesting. So if you don't get clear, nothing can happen. But as soon as you say, this is what's going to happen in my life, I am calling in this intention about this right here. And you stay there and you keep your focus all the time, every day, everything that you do. You wake up in the morning, you get focused. You go to bed at night, you focus on that thing before you go to sleep. It's right here, right here, right here. Stay in the focus, stay in the focus. And then all of a sudden, the universe is saying, all we can do is give her that. She's focused. Everything else falls away. Life stops being cattywampus. You're right here, right here. The one, the one. The one thing. What if we all got focused on harmony? And peace. The next meaningful conversation about, is there a cure for racism? And my immediate thought was, if we all focused on harmony and being one with each other, racism would fall away. If we all just focused. And every time I looked at somebody, no matter what your background is or where you came from or what the color of your skin is, if I just thought, I am you and you are me, we could eliminate it, I think, in an instant if we could all get clear, if we could all come to the one. If we could all come to the one. The Baha'i faith, just like unity, says that we are all one anyway, but we believe in this separation. I believe you're different sometimes because your skin color is different, and we're not. It's just a covering of the shell. And the shell is meaningless because all that matters is your consciousness. All that matters is your energy. That energy is inseparable. Singularly focused. Bring it in. Get one in your body. When your body gets focused, when you're singularly focused, then the body can be balanced. And the inner ear responds. And you stay steady and right. And when your consciousness is focused, your life gets steady and right. It knows what to respond to. It knows how to come home. I just watched an interview with the Wallendas, the family that does the High Wire Act. And they were interviewing after they were 25 feet on a high wire, 3/4 of an inch thick, 25 stories up over Times Square. And they walked it. And what they talked about is focus and practice. Focus and practice. They know one thing. And they know where they are, and they practice and practice. And what the sister, Liana, said is, that is my home. That is my bliss, my joy. When I'm on that. And when she takes the first step, she might be a little shaky and she might be a little nervous, but then she realizes, this is what I practice, this is what I focus on, this is what I do on a daily basis, and I love this. 25 feet up off the ground, on 3/4 of an inch, she's home. Yeah. Life, what is your 3/4 of an inch, 25 feet up? When you get focused in your practice, when you become singularly focused on what you believe and you practice it, you too can be 25 feet high up, hypothetically, in life, and be at home, and be okay, and maybe a little shaky when you first step out there, and all you have to say is, this is my home, this is what I do, this is who I am, this is what I believe. And it's bliss. And it's bliss. Yeah. Let's take this in a meditation. Take a deep breath. Just breathe. And bring into your consciousness the word one. One. Maybe you see the word in your mind's eye. Perhaps you see a pinprick or a spot, and that represents one to you. But focus on one, either as a state of being or an object. And here in the darkness behind your eyelids, keep your focus there, feeling all other things fall away. Just stay focused. And as you focus on that spot, that word, that beingness, whatever it is that you're focused on that represents one, let it expand. Let it get bigger. Expand its circumference. If you're looking at the word one, let the letters just get bigger and bigger. So that you go from the micro to the macro. Knowing that consciousness is infinite. That every singular being is a part of the whole, the one. The oneness that is God. That even as we are individual expressions, we are divine expression in itself, in its totality. All that we wish for ourselves, we wish for the many. And as we bless and improve our lives, we bless and improve the lives of all, of each. Just let yourself be in that totality. Wrap your heart around it. Infuse it with love. Infuse it with grace, goodness, harmony, unity. Infuse it with life, with breath, with hope. Infuse it with health and strength and power. Infuse it with light. As we continue to feel this oneness, let's take a deep breath in together. One breath, one life, one hope, one love. Exhale. Returning that love and grace and hope and love into the world. Inhale again. Hold it at the top, let it infuse your body, and exhale. can return to this state of peace and oneness and goodness, this singularity of focus at any time, in any circumstance. In any circumstance. And so it is, and so it shall be. Amen. Now let's pray for those in our lives who are in need. Abide.
You know, it is amazing how letting go of financial concerns and focusing on the word gratitude. I could see it on the wall in this beautiful silver shiny, and I just totally focused on it the whole time you're talking. And it's amazing how this weight slides off.
Very good.
Literally, you know, it's almost like it melts that heaviness or whatever it was. So much gratitude. Just a few days ago, I was so sick. I would have thought I'd be here today, and here I am.
And look at here you are.
Yeah. So, I'm telling you that gratitude is focusing on it, and that's what I'm doing.
It's a good thing to be focused on.
Gratitude.
Yeah. For Judy and Paul and for their family. And her sister and brother-in-law. For Lainey. For Judy. For Dot. For Melissa. For all those who are stepping into this holiday season feeling lonely, perhaps without family, those who are still struggling, sheltering in place. For Jerry. For Reba and Eddie. For Lola. So for all of these souls and all those who are unnamed but who remain in our thoughts and prayers, we know that they are whole, perfect, and complete. And that the same goodness, the same life with a capital L that infuses us, infuses them as well, for we are all one. We are all one. And we know that their highest and best is at work in their lives right now. And we offer this in the name and in the nature of Jesus the Christ, who is our brother and way shower. Amen. So as we prepare for our celebration of giving, we know and affirm that source with a capital S, is what floods our lives with the prosperity that we enjoy, and that all things come from the one. So let's recite our celebration of giving together. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all the good that I am and have, all the good that I give and receive, and so it is.
This song is called See Myself in You. It was written by a group called the Sherpas, Tom Prasada Rao, who is a really, really good singer-songwriter, producer, recording engineer. He's part of the Sherpas, and they wrote this song together, and then Randy Travis bought it and made it popular. So you should try to find it when you leave here today. It's called See Myself in You. If I had you in my sight, would you ask me to remember who imagined I was right? If you witness my surrender, do I know what I would do? If you held me like my brother, would I see myself in you? Well, I dreamed my end was near. I was almost gone. If I dreamed that dream from here, could I still come home? If you called me, would I hear you? Do I know what I would do? If you held me like my father, would I see myself in you? If you held me like my mother, would I see myself in you?
so it is, and so it shall be. Amen. Just a couple of announcements. It's back there pushing buttons. We're not meeting this week because it's the holiday week, so we'll be back together on December 1, and we'll finish the rest of the book, so chapter 8 through the epilogue on 10% Happier. Next, please. We're meeting today. We're going to have a gathering together just to be thankful for each other and kind of have our own Thanksgiving feast, even as we distance from table to table and still enjoy each other and yell across the room to talk and laugh and have a good time. So stay afterwards. I'm going to order something and have it sent over. So if you'd like to do that or go out and get something and bring it back, feel free. Absolutely. And next Sunday, it feels like it has been a long time coming. I think we scheduled this in the summer. So next Sunday, remotely, Lisa Allman Baldwin will be with us, and she has a workshop after service about the holiday blues for those of you who sometimes struggle through the holidays with depression, loneliness, other feelings that just kind of drag us down. If you would, we are starting to make phone calls to members and attendees and even people who are just on our database who probably have not been here in many, many years. So if you would like to help with that initiative, please let me know. And next week we'll be giving out the list. And we're just making calls to 2 or 3 people a week just to say hello to people, see how they're doing, see if they need support, and reach out and engage in this time of distancing. So we're calling it the Family First Team because we are indeed a family here. Be mindful of the new requirements we have when you're coming in. We do take temperatures when you come in the room. We have the space seating, so thank you very much for abiding by the seating. So we're divided things off so that we're not as close to each other as we were before, absolutely wearing masks. If you have a temperature of 100 or above, you're able to watch. If you don't want to go back home, you can watch service in the Serenity Suite, and everything is simulcast in that room. And please, if we have sanitizer out there, wash your hands when you come in the room, and exercise caution when greeting people. I mean, there are some who still want to hug each other if you're okay with that, but please don't assume that people want to do that. So please be respectful of people's preferences around how they are greeting. But the numbers are going up, so we're keeping everyone in prayer. There are a couple of people I know of who've been in the room with someone who's tested positive, and all of them have tested negative, and they're doing okay. So, but you never know. So let's hold everybody in prayer. There are a lot of people who are struggling through this time. Absolutely. Fred, do you have anything?
Sure.
He always has something. Why do I ask that question?
Well, that's true. and I'm doing this at the request of Quentin, which says I need a mic. Everybody can hear me, but I think the people on the television cannot. So
They wouldn't want to miss it.
Well, I don't know about that, but anyway, I will tell you a little story. There were 2 brothers, and they were seriously evil. They cheated, they stole, they became very, very rich. And wouldn't you know, one of them died. And so the other brother goes to the preacher, and he says, look, I'm going to give you a $10,000 donation to your church, but at the funeral service, you have to say that my brother was a saint. So the preacher thought about it for a minute, and he said, okay. So he writes him a check. Everything's fine. About 3 days later, they're at the funeral. The preacher gets up, and he said, this man that just died was the evilest man I've ever known. He stole, he cheated, he became rich, and he is probably the worst of humanity. But compared to his brother, he was a saint. So you got to be careful. Preachers have a way, you know, of figuring things out. Couple things. One of the things I want to remind you about was the little pledge slips. You can turn them into, if you're here, you can turn them into the tithing jar or the bowl in the back, or you can give them to me. If you're not here, you can just email Kim and let her know what you've decided that you wanted to do. It's not going to start until January 1st. That's when our new budget takes into effect. So I just want to kind of constantly remind you, you know the squeaky wheel? I'm the squeaky wheel. I constantly remind you that we're going to be have a little deficit next year, and we're going to try to meet that by everybody giving a little bit extra. You know, is give till it hurts. Second thing is as I mentioned last time, we have a donor that was doing the bricks for military and doing the bricks for first responders, and he has decided now, from now till the end of the year, that he will sponsor any brick that anybody wants to put out there. So I applaud him for that, and I think it would be a great opportunity if you've been waiting to go ahead and put somebody, living or not, in the memorial part of the brick path, because I just think it's a great opportunity to memorialize them. And we were noticing today that it's real interesting. Somebody that I don't remember who ordered the brick, okay? Somebody has come up and put 2 coins, a dime and a penny, and a dime and a penny on the other corner. And it happened sometime this morning. And it's the strangest thing when you walk out and you see something that wasn't there a few minutes ago, and you go, wow, you know, this is somebody that means something to somebody. So it's important. And the last thing I wanted to say was, in this particular time, which is unprecedented in the world, okay? You have to remember something, that God has a plan. This is not random. He didn't just throw us out here and say, we'll see how they do. That's not it. God has a plan. He doesn't, and he always has a purpose for everything he does. We just don't know what that purpose is, okay? So as Kim was talking today, I got to thinking about it. All you really need to do is make 3 decisions. They call it plan your work and work your plan. So the first thing you need to do is plan your work. Plan what your focus is going to be. The second is to work your plan. And the third is to step back, let go, and let God. Okay? He's got it worked out. All you have to do is get out of the way and let him finish what he's got planned. I guarantee you, when we look back at this time, we will understand at some point exactly why we went through this. And we will all go, wow, that's why. That's why we went through this. Thank you.
What's going on? Prayer for protection. I lost my mind there for a minute. Let's recite our prayer for protection together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And let's stand in our power and all our might and recite our vision and mission statements. Together, we are Unity Spiritual Center, Saxe. We are a thriving global community of spiritual seekers, transforming lives through love and the expression of our innately divine gifts. Our mission is to inspire spiritual and personal growth through the teaching and demonstration of unity principles toward the realization of living our best lives. Divine wisdom is at work in every area of our lives right now. Divine wisdom is opening ways where to human sense there is no way. Everything is always working out for me. And we have one more song. Please be seated.
When I was a girl each week, Sunday we would go to church, pay attention to the priest. He would read the holy word, consecrate the holy bread. Everyone would kneel and bow. Today the only difference is everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. When I was in Sunday school, we would learn about the time Moses split the sea in two, and Jesus made the water wine. And I remember feeling sad that miracles don't happen still, but now I can't keep track, 'cause everything's a miracle. Everything's a miracle. Everything's a miracle. Wine from water is not so small, but an even greater magic trick is that anything is here at all. So the challenging thing becomes not to look for miracles, but finding where there isn't one. Holy water was rare at best. It barely wet my fingertips, but now I have to hold my breath, 'cause I'm swimming in a sea of it. It used to be a world half there, heaven's second-rate hand-me-down, but now I walk it with a reverent air, 'cause everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. Read a questioning child's face and say it's not a testament. Well, that'd be very hard to say. See another new morning come and say it's not a sacrament. I'll tell you that it can't be done. This morning outside I stood, I saw a little red-winged bird, shining like a burning bush, singing like a scripture verse. It made me want to bow my head. I remember when church let out, how things have changed since then, 'cause everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. Everything's a miracle. Everything's a miracle. Everything. Holy now. Everything, every little thing, everything is holy now. Everything, 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 everything is holy now.
Thank you for joining us. We will see you next Sunday. Have a glorious week. Namaste.